It was a cold, cloudy morning in the heart of the city. Rain had fallen overnight, leaving puddles glistening under the early sun. Amara, a young woman barely in her 20s, walked steadily along the sidewalk. She was heading to work at Starlight Plaza, where she had been cleaning offices since she turned 18. As she passed the edge of the plaza's entrance, a sleek black car rolled up behind her. It slowed down, then stopped. Amara didn't pay it much attention. She was used to people ignoring or avoiding her. But this time, something felt different. Inside the car sat Olivia, a rich, arrogant fashion influencer whose life revolved around luxury, likes, and labels. Her phone in one hand, the steering wheel in the other, she spotted Amara walking by. Without warning, Olivia slammed her foot on the gas. The tires spun hard against the wet road. A large puddle sat just beside the curb, and as the car sped forward, the tire hit the water with full force. A wave of muddy water exploded upward, splashing directly onto Amara. She barely had time to react. Soaked from head to toe, she stood frozen as the car roared past her. Then came the laughter, loud, cruel, echoing from the open window as Olivia drove off, shouting behind her, "Clean yourself, poor cleaner." The words cut deeper than the cold water. Amara blinked, stunned. A few seconds passed before she felt the sting of the mud dripping down her face, soaking into her uniform. Pedestrians glanced, some whispered, but no one stepped in. Then, slowly, without a word, without tears, she reached into her bag, pulled out a small towel, and began wiping her face. Her hands trembled, but she held herself together. With her head high, she kept walking toward work. What Amara didn't know was that this moment, this humiliation, had not gone unnoticed. Across the street, standing by the window of a coffee shop, was James. He was a man in his early 30s. He owned half the buildings in that part of the city, including Starlight Plaza. And he had seen everything. His jaw tightened as he watched Olivia drive off, laughing like it was all a game. But his gaze lingered longer on Amara, the way she composed herself, the way she didn't cry or shout, the way she simply moved forward. Something about her reminded him of someone very dear to him, his late mother, who had once cleaned houses to put him through school. She had faced hardship with quiet dignity, just like Amara. He turned to the barista, ordered a warm sandwich, and handed it to her with a note. "Please give this to the young cleaner who just walked in." The barista looked confused, but nodded. That day, Amara found the sandwich waiting for her in the staff room. No name, no explanation. Just a warm meal and a short message. "Keep going. Someone sees you." She stared at the note for a long time, then took a bite. It was the first kindness she'd felt all day. But the kindness didn't stop there. Over the next few weeks, small things began to happen. A pair of brand new gloves appeared in her locker. Then a notebook filled with encouraging words. Sometimes a hot drink left beside her cleaning cart. Never signed. Never explained. Amara was puzzled, but grateful. She kept working hard, always arriving early, staying late, giving every corner she cleaned an extra polish. Her supervisors noticed. So did her co-workers. And not everyone was happy about it. Jealousy began to stir among some of the other cleaners, especially those who had been there longer. Whispers started. Rumors spread. Some accused her of playing favorites with management. Others tried to trip her up, literally and figuratively. One day, someone even sabotaged her cleaning schedule, making it look like she had missed an entire floor. When confronted, Amara didn't lash out. She calmly showed her supervisor her logbook, her completed tasks, and offered to redo anything that needed attention. Her honesty and dedication spoke louder than any accusation. Soon, the whispers faded, replaced by reluctant respect. Then came the biggest surprise yet. One afternoon, after finishing her shift, Amara received a letter addressed to her. It wasn't from the company. It was sealed and formal. Inside was an acceptance letter for a full scholarship to study hospitality management at one of the top schools in the country. No sender name. Just a final line. Your future deserves more than mopping floors. I believe in you. Tears welled in Amara's eyes. For the first time in a long while, she allowed herself to feel something beyond survival, hope. Unbeknownst to her, James had arranged it all. Every gesture, every gift, every opportunity, carefully placed like stepping stones leading her forward. Weeks passed. The scholarship had opened a new world for Amara. She was attending classes in the evenings while still working full-time during the day. Her body ached from exhaustion, but her spirit burned brighter than ever. Every swipe of the mop, every wiped surface, felt like a step closer to something bigger. She kept her head down, focused only on moving forward. But not everyone wanted her to rise. Unbeknownst to Amara, Olivia's cruel act that morning had been caught, not by someone nearby, but by a security camera mounted high above the plaza entrance. It hadn't captured her face clearly, but it had recorded everything. The car, the puddle, the splash, the laughter. Someone inside the building had leaked the footage. And then, without warning, the video went viral. It started with a single post on a local gossip page. Then another. And another. Within hours, the clip had spread across social media like wildfire. Rich influencer humiliates cleaner girl. Olivia strikes again, this time on camera. Who is the woman behind the wheel? Amara didn't know about any of this. She arrived at work that day as usual, unaware that the world was buzzing with her pain. But Olivia knew. Her phone exploded with messages, comments, and calls. Fans turned into critics overnight. Sponsors began pulling out. Her once glamorous image was now stained with shame. Panicked and furious, Olivia tried to control the damage. She posted a defensive statement on her Instagram story. It was just a joke. People are so sensitive these days. I didn't even mean to hit the puddle. But no one believed her. Then came the screenshots of her past behavior. Old messages, leaked conversations where she mocked people beneath her status. The public turned on her completely. Worst of all, her father, a powerful businessman who had built much of his empire through appearances, was furious. He saw the scandal as a threat to their family name. He called her in, cut off her credit cards, suspended her from all social media, and made her take down every post. Worse still, he told her she would have to publicly apologize, or risk losing everything. Meanwhile, Amara remained oblivious. She continued her routine, cleaning, studying, pushing herself harder than ever. Her supervisors noticed her growing confidence. She had become more than just a cleaner. She was becoming a leader. Then came the promotion. Amara was moved to the VIP floor, the most exclusive part of the building. Only top executives and elite guests were allowed there. It was a sign of trust, respect, and recognition. She stood in front of the mirror in the staff bathroom, adjusting her new uniform. It fit better. She stood taller. For the first time, she looked like someone who belonged. What she didn't know was that James had personally approved the move. He had watched her from afar for months, quietly admiring her strength, her humility, her resilience. He had never met her face to face, but he knew her heart better than anyone. One afternoon, after finishing her shift on the VIP floor, Amara found an envelope slipped under her locker door. Inside was a handwritten letter. You've inspired me more than you'll ever know. I want you to know, you're not alone. Someone believes in you. This time, there was a name at the bottom. James Carter. Amara read it over and over, her breath catching in her throat. The name meant nothing to her at first, until she realized whose photo she had once seen in a business magazine back in the break room. James Carter, the youngest billionaire in the country, owner of Starlight Plaza. Her hands trembled. Suddenly, the kindness, the gifts, the scholarship, it all made sense. Tears welled in her eyes, not from sadness, but from gratitude, from awe. All this time, she had thought she was walking alone. Now, she knew differently. The next morning, Amara arrived at work with a new sense of purpose. She had barely slept after reading James's letter. It wasn't just the support that moved her, it was the belief behind it. Someone who had everything could have ignored someone like her. But he didn't. And now, she carried that truth with her like armor. She stepped onto the VIP floor, ready to begin her rounds, when she noticed something unusual. People were staring. Not with judgment, but curiosity. Some even smiled. Confused, she made her way to the staff break room, where a group of co-workers stood around a phone, whispering in hushed tones. She leaned in and saw the screen. It was Olivia. In front of cameras, dressed plainly for once, standing beside her father. "I want to publicly apologize," she said, voice shaking, "to the young woman I wronged. What I did was cruel and immature. I offer my sincerest regret." Amara's breath caught. This was not the Olivia she remembered, the one who laughed as she drove away soaked and humiliated. This Olivia looked broken, defeated. The video played on. Behind her, her father stood silent, arms crossed, clearly forcing her hand. But what shocked Amara most was what came next. "Her name is Amara," Olivia continued. "I've tried reaching out, but she has not responded. I understand why. I hope one day she can forgive me." Silence followed. Then the comments started flying across the screen. "Finally doing the right thing? Too little too late. Where's Amara? Let's hear from her." Amara backed away from the phone, heart pounding. She didn't want revenge. She didn't want attention. She wanted peace. But the world had other plans. By lunchtime, messages flooded in, from co-workers, strangers, even reporters. Everyone wanted to know how Amara felt about Olivia's apology. She stayed quiet. Until James reached out. That evening, a message arrived in her inbox. "Meet me at the plaza entrance. 6 p.m. Just come as you are." No explanation. No pressure. Just an invitation. At exactly 6, Amara stood at the spot where everything had begun. The puddle long gone, the sidewalk dry. And there he was. James. He stood beside a sleek black car, not unlike the one that had changed her life weeks ago. Only this time, it brought no fear, only curiosity. He greeted her with a simple nod. "You handled everything with grace," he said. "More than anyone would have." Amara looked at him, unsure of what to say. "I never meant to cause any of this," she finally whispered. "I know," he replied. "That's what makes you different." He handed her a small envelope. Inside was a key and a letter. "This is your scholarship graduation gift," he said. "A fully furnished apartment near campus. You don't have to commute anymore. You deserve comfort. You deserve peace." Tears welled in her eyes again. She looked up at him. "Why me?" she asked softly. James smiled. "Because sometimes, the strongest people wear the humblest clothes," he said. "You reminded me of who I wanted to be, not the man I am." From that moment on, their bond shifted, from secret supporter to open admiration. He became her mentor, her friend, and eventually, something more. Over the next year, Amara completed her studies with honors. She was promoted to head of hospitality training at Starlight Plaza. Her story spread quietly through the company, a symbol of resilience, humility, and strength. Olivia faded into obscurity, her brand damaged beyond repair. Without authenticity, without kindness, her influence crumbled. 1 year later, on the anniversary of that fateful morning, a grand hotel gala was held at Starlight Plaza. Amara stood on stage, receiving a special award for outstanding contribution to service excellence. As she spoke, she ended with these words. "I used to believe that life was about surviving whatever was thrown at me. But I've learned that sometimes, the mud we walk through leads us to the light we never knew we deserved." She looked into the crowd. James sat in the front row, smiling proudly. After the ceremony, they walked together toward the entrance, the same spot where it all began. She paused. Then, slowly, she took off her award ribbon and placed it gently on the ledge beside the door. Not as a symbol of victory over Olivia, but as a symbol of letting go. Sometimes, the world tries to bury you. But if you keep walking, even through the mud, someone might just see you rise. If this story touched your heart, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Because kindness matters. Resilience inspires. And every soul deserves to shine. Thank you for watching.